Hi there, I am Jen Elledge. I'm a sexual health expert and I'm the founder of the Talk Institute and creator of the Let's Chat course. I want to commend you as a parent for knowing that this is an important subject for your children to understand and to learn all about. And I know also that it's challenging to know, how much do I say? When do I begin these conversations? And what exactly do I tell them? What do they need to know at each age? So I'm here to help you with that. Some kids will naturally come to us with questions. They're not embarrassed, they're curious. And then there's other children that are super embarrassed or very awkward or maybe aren't thinking about the subject very much. They wouldn't know what to ask. But puberty is happening to them. I'm not sure what brought you here today. Maybe your child is kind of on the cusp of the age where this begins. Perhaps you're seeing breast budding or hair growing in new places, maybe some new odors in the home. Whatever it is that brought you here, I can tell you that it's probably time to start talking about this. At whatever age your child is at, there is an age-appropriate way to discuss this subject. This program is really for parents that want to be the one that their kids come to about this subject. You really want your children to talk to you first about this. The only way that happens is through practice. And the only way you're going to get practice is by talking about it. And courses are the way to go. And if you're unable to take a live course with your own friends in a small group, then an e-course is the next best thing. And that's what we have here in Let's Chat for girls and Let's Chat for boys. I want you to imagine what your life would have been like if you were growing up and had a sexual health expert teach you what you needed to know about your body changing. That you had access to information about how to be safe and what to expect and what was normal, what was not normal. All of those things you learned. Would you have had an easier time with puberty? Would you have not had an experience possibly because you would have known better or had the information you needed to be safe? Think about that, and I want you to think about what you want for your children. And in today's world, it is crazy out there, and they're exposed to so much so early, and there's really no hiding from it. You can do some things to limit some of the things your children will see, but the fact is that our kids are going to get exposed to this at some point. And we need to, when they get older and they're mature enough to start to handle this information, it's important that we stop covering their eyes, right? And let's teach them to see. Let's teach them to see. This is the way the world is. This is what you need to know. This is what's going to happen. This is what you can expect. This is what you should do if this happens. And right? Let's get talking about this stuff. The thing is that it takes practice to learn to talk about this subject. And you as a parent may not have had a whole lot of practice yourself. Maybe your parents didn't talk to you about this. I know that I had probably one conversation, and it wasn't until I was 15 years old about anything to do with sexuality. So if you grew up similar to me, then you may not have had this be a subject that was talked about often or maybe even at all in your home. Your kids are going to need practice too. And it's a skill. To be able to talk about sex is a skill. And if you start with a book, that's great, but I don't think you're going to get enough practice by just reading something together or even just by discussing a movie or TV show or something like that. It really takes a course, a program that you're learning together. And I think that's what's so amazing about this program, as you'll see, is that throughout the process, you're there with your child the whole way. You're going to see everything they're seeing and learn all the facts that they're learning. And they'll know that you know this stuff. Kids are funny. They don't think you know what they know. And it's important that they understand that you've had this experience before and you've gone through puberty. If they have questions, that it might be something that you've experienced before. And this course can really help you establish that by creating moments where you're talking together. For example, there's an interview where they're going to ask you what puberty and growing up was like for you. What was your most awkward, embarrassing moment? And sharing those stories, bonding, and being able to learn to talk about sexuality together. I understand as a parent that this subject is very close to home and it's personal. And when we talk to our children about it, there's a lot of feelings involved. There's a lot of fear involved. And it can be really challenging to create the tone we really want to create about the subject, a positive, this is something good about me tone. And what's great about a course like this is I'm going to help set that for you and create that for you. You just have to follow my lead. I'm not their mom. I'm not your child's mom. And for some reason, when we hear something from another source other than mom and dad, we hear it differently. I don't know if you've had this experience before, but sometimes when we're too close to someone, we stop listening. And it's not that what they say is not important to us, but we're defensive and we have our other stuff going on with us that makes it difficult for us to always understand or hear somebody. There are times when your children will do this to you. There are times when your spouse does this to you. There are times when you do this to your spouse and to your kids also. The people we love and are the closest to us, we love and appreciate, and what they have to say is important to us, but we don't always hear it. When it comes to the subject of sexual health, when we have our futures at stake, when we have huge consequences that can affect our well-being, our health, our life, everything about it can be changed by having a baby too early or from a life-threatening disease or, our reputation being ruined from experience that we had. There's a lot at stake, and I want to make sure that parents have a way of talking to their kids for them to hear what they're saying more. And that's so important. And when you're taking a course with your child versus talking at them, they actually hear more. And I could have said something you've been saying all along, and I'll just affirm it. It'll just be something that they're hearing from a second source, and it just makes it that much more real, important, and they hear it, okay? That's what I think is great about taking a course versus reading a book together, because you have another influence in there. You have a sexual health expert that's actually helping set a wonderful tone for you and your family that sexuality is something that is healthy and great and has rules around it. And it's important that we understand how our bodies function and all this stuff, and it all plays a role in us being healthy. So I bet you're wondering, what is this Let's Chat course about? What's included? What can I expect if I buy this class? So the Let's Chat, there's two versions. There's a version for girls, for your daughters, and there's a version for boys or your sons. And each version is going to talk about that sex's body only. So this is our abbreviated course, which means it's only puberty based. So they're not going to be learning about the other sex's body and what they're experiencing during puberty. They're not going to learn about where babies come from. They're not going to learn about peer pressure and the for when they're ready topics that we cover in the full Talking the Talk course. This is more of a class for someone who wants to dip their toe in, test this out, see how their child responds, not make a huge investment. Also a great program for a parent who's, their child is younger. Maybe they're 8 or 9 years old for girls or 9 or 10 years old for boys, and they don't need all the information just yet. You just want to talk about their own body changes. That's fantastic. So what you can expect in this course is just that. They're going to learn about what their body is, how their body is going to change physically and emotionally during puberty. They're going to learn about how their body functions, and I'll use metaphors to help them understand that better. And lots of fun facts get thrown in throughout the course too, and you can watch the course highlights to get a sense of how my teaching style sounds. Along the way, there's some really interesting activities and games that are included. For example, after you learn about the body parts in the anatomy, there's a game called Written All Over Your Face. And this is similar to the game Headbands, if you're familiar. So you print it out at home. I teach you how to make the little headband, and you'll have words that you'll put on your forehead, and you and your child will take turns playing to guess those words. And they're all the new terms that they just learned about their body changes or body parts. And that's a really fun way to make sure that your kids are able to say these words without turning red, and they get the practice of saying them and not getting embarrassed or feeling awkward, right? That's the point of games. And it's just fun. And then your kid doesn't feel like it's school. They're learning, but they're learning in a fun, engaging way. And that's an example of one of the games that's included in the Let's Chat course, okay? After they learn about their puberty and physical and emotional changes during puberty, and they're also going to learn about hygiene. So for our girl classes, we're going to cover all the menstrual products. They're going to see how to use a pad and tampon, and about the menstrual cups and other products that are available. They're also going to learn the top 10 questions that young girls have about their periods. So we'll talk about what to do if they get their period at school, and what happens if it leaks and gets on your clothes. What should you do? And all of these things that are really common questions. Is it going to hurt? How do I deal with cramps, right? These are some of the things that the course will cover in great detail for you. And it's things that it might be difficult to get your child to sit down and listen to you talk to them about in one sitting. But because it's a course and it's videos you're watching as a family, it's different. And you get to have that experience with your child, learning with your child versus talking at your child. It's very, very different. And that is one of the blessings of taking an e-course like this. It's really awesome. Your child's also going to interview you about puberty. What did you experience? How old were you? Who did you talk to? What's an embarrassing or awkward moment that you experienced? And these are such awesome questions that your child may or may not think to ask you. But once you're discussing it, it's just like, wow, that's really cool that I know that about my mom or my dad, or, this person raising me that loves me, right? They learn a lot about you, and gives you a chance to connect and let them know that you've experienced what they will go through. Right? And if you're the opposite parent, sometimes it's really challenging too. If you're a mom raising a boy, or a dad raising a daughter, just to have someone else help you with this and make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. It's such a great relief to know that you covered this properly, and that your child's going to have a great foundation to build on talking about sexuality and learning about this subject. Along the way of the course also, we have workbooks. So in the beginning, parents will have a workbook for them that's going to guide them through the course and help them think about their values around this subject and what they want to instill in their child. So there'll be some journaling activities for you. And for your children, there's games, there's like word searches and matching, and there's also everything that they're learning in print in case they need to read to learn also, right? So we all have different learning styles, so I'm trying to appeal to the different styles in that way. The games will help with the doing, and the workbook with the reading, and of course the video with the watching. Okay, so great stuff there. In the very end of the course, then you'll actually not learn a game called Puberty Jeopardy, and you guys can compete to see who knows the most about puberty now after the class, and that's a fun way to kind of conclude the course. For your boys will learn, so girls will learn about menstruation in great detail, and for boys, we're going to cover erections and wet dreams. And they'll learn about what to do if they get an erection and it's not a good place for one? How do they disguise an erection? And then they'll also learn about what to do if they experience a wet dream to not feel embarrassed and to know what it is and what's happening to their body, and how to handle their sheets afterwards and things like that. And for a lot of parents, that could be really challenging to discuss with their kids. But in a course like this, it's going to seem very matter of fact, very normal. This is something you'll probably experience. Your parents know, because they're watching this with you, that this is something that's going to happen also. And this is how you handle it. And that's a great tone that is being set. The tone that this is okay to talk about, this is normal, this will happen to your body, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. This is what you need to know and what you're going to need along the way. Very simple. That's what you can expect in the Let's Chat course. And those are some of the things that are included in the content. And, it's very simple, like I said, and it's a great price. $39. That's it. Dipping your toe in. Let's get your child learning about their own body at least, right? Let's get a good foundation. And then if you like the style, there might be an opportunity at the end to get the entire complete course, Talking the Talk. And then you can get into the other aspects of puberty for the other sex and where babies come from and other stuff they're going to need to know. Lots and lots of other stuff. Okay? So if you're wondering what to do next, there are 3 simple steps. First of all, click the button. There's a red button and a blue button. Whether you have a daughter or a son who needs to learn about puberty, Let's Chat for Girls, Let's Chat for Boys are both available for $39 for an entire year access. Okay, so that's the first step. Just click the button. It's going to take you to a confirmation checkout page, and you're going to put in your information. Put in your credit card information, and it's all secure. And as soon as you click submit, you're going to have your third step is to just open up the course and go through it. You're going to have immediate access to the entire class. So all the videos for the entire Let's Chat course are going to be there right away. There is also a Parents Corner section that's just for you. So there's additional videos for parents. I suggest you start there, look and see what you need to learn about, and then go and browse the Let's Chat course and see all the videos that are available. Preview some, look at the first ones you're going to watch with your child, and then just schedule a date to start the class. Course content will take you no more than 2 hours to complete, including the activities. Okay, so for the boys and the girls class, the boys class is slightly shorter than the girls, but when you add the games in and the time it takes to play the games, it's going to be about 2 hours to complete. So you can definitely do that in one sitting and get it done, or if you want to spread it out to make sure you guys are having conversations and it's not a one-time thing, then that's a wonderful way to complete the course as well. You go at your own pace. That's what's cool. So if you need to watch something again, watch it a second time. Maybe you need to watch it a few times and you're looking for scripting of how to explain this to your child because you want to do it yourself first before you watch it together, or you don't want to watch it with them. You just want to see what I'm going to say and how to do that. There's different ways to consume the content, and it's up to you to decide what's best for you and how you want to take the course. That's what's so awesome about it. It's affordable. It's something you can take at your own pace. You get to preview it and know what's going to be said before it's said. And you get to experience talking with your child instead of talking at them. You get to learn with them instead of talking at them. And that is an awesome, awesome gift. If you're still wondering if this is for you, let's talk about some of the reasons why somebody might hesitate taking a course like this. If you're wondering if you're going to like the course or is it worth the money, there is a 14-day money-back guarantee. You get to see what's there, check everything out. If you're not 100% happy, if it's not something you could see watching with your child or you can't get them to watch with you, you have 14 days to get your money back. And with $39 investment, it's not a lot. That's like 2 books, Okay, if you're going to purchase 2 books on puberty, which you should do anyways, you can take this course instead, and you're going to have access for an entire year, and you're going to watch it as many times as you want. All of that's going to be available. So there really isn't a risk, right? I mean, 14 days to decide if it's something that you like or not. And no questions asked, just shoot me an email, tell me you want a refund, and we'll issue a refund for $39. You also might be wondering, how am I going to get my child to sit down and watch this with me? It's down to you saying how important this is, and that, yeah, it might be a little embarrassing or awkward. And honestly, it is a little for me too. And that's why I purchased this course, so that we can learn together and that it's not as embarrassing or awkward. And so you're going to need to just explain to your child why it's important. If they're like, no way, I'm not doing this. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to learn about this. If they're in denial that they're going to go through puberty and they don't want to know, you're just going to have to try to coach them a little bit to get them to understand why it's important. Another objection that we might have is, I want to teach this to my child myself, and I want to be the one to tell them. I know as a parent, we want, especially with our first children, we want to be the ones to teach them things. And it's such a neat feeling when, we've taught our child how to ride a bike, or, how to do math or something. If there's a skill you're trying to teach your child, it's nice to be the first one to do that. But sometimes with certain subjects, you want an expert to help you too. And I'm not taking that away from you. You're still there with your child. You're going to have conversations between the videos and chances to talk about this more deeply. And I promise you that I'm going to be able to bring things up that you wouldn't have thought to include in your conversation about puberty, and or maybe you couldn't get your child to sit long enough to hear you and to hear everything that you have to say about it. But when you're playing games and you're learning from, an expert, and there's fun facts that you're learning about your body, and it's something that feels more tangible and real, I think that it's a different experience for children. You don't let these hesitations stop you. It's so important to talk to our kids about their bodies changing. We want them to grow up healthy and strong and have good self-esteem, and puberty can be a really tricky time for a lot of children. There's so much comparing that goes on, and we're looking at other people's bodies and why is ours changing or not changing, and am I normal, and do I fit in? And there's all this stuff going on. Let's at least make sure that they understand what's normal about what's going on with their bodies, and we can take that anxiety off their plate. And you guys, this is such an important subject for their life. This is a foundation you're creating here. If we can talk about sexual health with our children, something that can be very awkward and embarrassing, I believe that we can talk about anything with our children. And no subject should be off limits, right? We should be able, as families, to be able to talk about all things, whether it's difficult to talk about or not. So I hope that this course does that for you and your family. Again, this is not a comprehensive course in this particular Let's Chat version. The comprehensive course is the Talking the Talk Together, which is also available for $97. This is our $39 abbreviated program for just puberty changes and emotional changes, things that they can expect with their own bodies, okay? But at the same time, this is the foundation, this is important, and this is a great way to see if your child has questions, to generate a chance for questions to be created because they're learning about something and they get their wheels turning, right? And we want them to practice talking to us, and classes are the way to do that. Please, 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 you have a 14-day guarantee. If it's not for you, try this out. This is such an awesome program. I 100% stand behind it. I think it's a great avenue to get started talking about puberty with your child. So hopefully at this point I have answered most of your questions about what to expect in the Let's Chat e-course. There's so much available here, and such a good, affordable price of just $39 that this is really a no-brainer. You just need to press the button. Press the red or the blue button to get the checkout process started, whether you have a daughter or son, whichever program you want to get. Let's Chat for Girls, Let's Chat for Boys, and get started talking together. You'll have immediate access again. You'll get to preview everything, take the course at your own pace. You have an entire year to get through the content, and it's no more than 2 hours to complete, including the activities and games. So it's a great foundation course to help you and your child get started talking about growing up and puberty so that you can have a foundation to next talk about what sex is and the other subjects they're going to need to know as they get older. So definitely get this class. Don't wait. If your child is between 8 and 10, this is probably the best time to take Let's Chat. If they're a little bit younger or older, it's fine also, but it's just something that you're going to need to decide for you as a family and what you guys are ready to talk about. But get this class, you guys. You won't regret you did, and you'll have 14 days to decide if you want it or not, or if you have any regrets to get your money back. Okay? All right. I will see you in Let's Chat. Bye-bye.